within 10 years of the introduction of DDT, bedbugs were already showing resistance to it. After that point, we had new classes of insecticides. I'm sure Carolyn could tell you more about it. They were becoming resistant to those as well. So we were continually in this arms race with bedbugs, developing new insecticides. It works, it stops working, a new insecticide. We're at the end of that development now, where we really want insecticides that don't kill us, aren't persistent in the environment. And so the last things we have are these pyrethroids, and they've been shown to be several hundred times resistant to pyrethroids. So some strains, I should say. So that makes it very difficult. You don't know if the spray is going to work or not. Okay, it may work and it may not work. I want to talk very briefly about fumigation. Usually we don't talk about fumigation when we're talking about structural pest control because it's a very costly thing to tent a whole building and pump gas in there, move people out for 3 days, and then ventilate the space and bring them back. But you're starting to see people doing this. Richmond Housing Authority did a big fumigation for a 100-unit building. They did it to treat 15 units, and they spent $100,000 to do it. So, it's better that we do not repeat these mistakes. And when you do something that lasts only for that period of time, then you are destined to have to repeat it again. And to do another $100,000 treatment isn't sustainable, definitely. So it would have made a lot more sense to go and spend, so much money sealing the place, changing the furniture, and adopting some new kind of, standards of monitoring. Finding bedbugs. They've done other studies as well, where they go through a building and they ask everybody in the building, do you have bedbugs? And they might find that 15% of them say they have bedbugs. Then they do a visual inspection of the beds and they find another 15% of the rooms have bedbugs. Then they put these interceptors. These are called bedbug interceptors. What they do is they're slippery on the inside. Talcum powder is kept on the inside right here. This is a rough edge that they can walk up. And you put each leg of the bed inside this interceptor. And as bedbugs are attracted to the CO2 that people have and their smells and the heat, they walk up this and they get trapped inside of it. So the researchers put these on every bed of the building and they found another 15% of the rooms had bedbugs. So the point is, visual inspection is limited because they can be hiding in very hard to find places. Reports by the tenants is you can't trust it because some people have no reaction and some people just don't know. We do canine inspections in hotels specifically, but we're also using our dogs inside of office buildings and the clinics and the human service places and the DA's office because that's where we find some bed bugs randomly in sticky traps. And what else can you do? I mean, if you know that this chemical doesn't leave lasting killing power behind effective on bed bugs, you really have to find where the bed bugs are, and it's just a matter of hunting them in those spaces. And then trying to develop some kind of ongoing cleaning and trying to keep the people and their things that are bringing bed bugs in to designated areas that we can then sanitize on a regular basis. That's at least the thinking that we have in these city buildings. Okay? The reality is when we're killing bed bugs with a chemical, we got to get the bed bugs wet. You got to find the crack and crevice that they're hiding in, and you got to put that chemical there. So if that's the case, there's many chemicals under the sun that can do the same thing. Detergent water can do the same thing. There's plenty of green products out there that kill on contact, kill inside that crack the same way these other residual chemicals do that don't actually have a residual killing power.
All right.
Another thing is if you have cracks and crevices and you're just looking at the room, because this person can't have a chemical treatment, would be to vacuum the bed bugs that are visible, wash the things as you normally would do, steam those cracks and crevices, and make sure you seal the cracks where the bed bugs are hiding so they don't come back out. And this is the most underutilized tool that we have that, honestly, when you try it and you start using it, you'll see you're going to get better results when you start sealing those cracks and crevices. Like I said, detergent water kills on contact, but there's a multitude of contact killers out there that have better risk profiles. They're not long-lasting chemicals that aren't killing anyway, and you can find them. Desiccant dust have been demonstrated to be the best insecticides for bed bugs. So even when you have a bed bug that is resistant to this active ingredient, if it's in a dust form, it's susceptible to it. However, you don't need to use that pyrethroid dust. There are two dusts that brought some labels for you. One's called Pyganic Pro, the other one's Alpine dust. These are basically diatomaceous earth with an added active ingredient. So something that's actually killing them on contact when they are running across it. And both of them are EPA exempt, and we can talk about that in a minute. Thermal spot treatment, so that's when you know that chemical treatments don't kill their eggs. You need to do something to kill the eggs, or you should be doing something to kill the eggs. That's when you're using a steamer instead of a crack and crevice, or you're putting it in the dryer, or you're freezing. And I want to talk about freezing. We freeze with dry ice because otherwise you're not really getting the temperatures you need for the extent of time that you need it for. Taking showers, washing clothing. I mean, if someone is carrying a backpack with them regularly, not washing it, not washing their clothes, and they're sleeping in many different places, that's the person that's most likely to be carrying bed bugs with them. So this is probably what you're already doing. We call it our 99% treatment. You're going to do all this work, and you're probably going to kill 99% of the bugs. There's still going to be that 1% hiding around that you got to go back and find and kill. You do that through, you should be routinely inspecting and monitoring for this. Not just by visual inspection, not just by consultation, but using something concrete. We use sticky traps everywhere we go. Bed bugs, they're not attracted to these sticky traps, but they randomly are walking across looking for food, and you catch them. And it's another helpful tool. This is by far the best, though. You know, there was a big article on this, what's working in bed bugs, and the consensus of that was there's no silver bullet. We got a dog with the ideas, well, if we can find all the bed bugs, then we can kill all the bed bugs. It doesn't necessarily work that well. So you know that there's bed bugs in an area, but can you get all those bed bugs when you're treating there? Not always. Are there still bed bugs in other parts of the room? Yes. Your IPM plan should always be evolving. So you're going to make a plan, and then you're going to run into an obstacle of, well, I can't make an island out of this bed. You need to be adaptive and find another solution for that. You know, you're going to have people that have sensitivities to it. You're going to have a million different problems. I'm sure we're going to come up with some more. And then the idea that this is a systemic pest. We're not really thinking about it that way. We should stop thinking about we need to treat just our building or just that one unit in our building. It's really about your whole building because they may be in other parts of the building. And there's other interactions that are happening in the community. How do you deal with that? You know, you don't have the answer, and I don't have the answer either. But as communities all over the nation, we're struggling with the same question. And what we are seeing is that people are doing trainings. The Safer Pest Control Project is going to be working with California's pesticide reform to do trainings for buildings and be able to train your staff and everyone in the building on bed bugs. And the Contra Costa County set up a bed bug task force to start aggregating this information and creating training materials for their underserved communities there. So that's the best of what we have right now. And is it all the solution? Not really. But as long as you're not trusting in one thing, you're using varying strategies, different things, and following it up. Just don't turn your back. You got to go back and you got to keep looking.